Chairman, fellow speakers and guests, a few weeks ago I found myself at the top of a ladder 3 metres up the side of my motorhome, and I was willing myself to just get down and slither, you know, like commando belly style, across the roof of my motorhome because I couldn't stand up on it. And I thought, what am I doing? I shouldn't be doing this. And why am I doing this? Why isn't somebody else doing it? And then I remembered I had a leak which I was desperate to fix. And nobody else would answer my phone calls. I couldn't get anybody to even consider doing it. And I couldn't find a small child that I could shove up easily because you have to be careful about, you know, weight and distribution of it. So I thought, if I knew then what I know now, would I have ever bought a motorhome? And I can't actually answer that question because I did. And I've had this sort of love-hate relationship with it because it turned out to be so much more involved and complicated than I thought it might be. But with hindsight, I really should have done more research. And I suppose, why did I buy one? It was a bit of an impulse. You know, I was in one of those moods to spend £30,000. I mean, crazy or what? But the idea of just taking off whenever I wanted to, without having to book anywhere, and stopping whenever I wanted to, and wherever I wanted to, stopping surrounded by nature, maybe on a cliff top with a nice sunset on the horizon, beautiful view, nothing but the sound of the wind in the grass. And a distant seagull maybe. Well, that appealed to me. Now that would be called wild camping or off-grid, and it's not actually allowed in the UK, it's illegal, so you know that scenario was never really going to happen. You can sometimes get onto a campsite that has close-ish pitches, but you're obviously with people. And you maybe could get into a car park, but they've got a lot more restrictions now, so they've got height barriers in and signs for no overnight camping. So that romantic, idealised view of what you do when you've got a motorhome isn't really going to happen. Has anyone here got a motorhome or camper van or been tempted to get one?
I have, yeah.
You've got what?
Well, camper van.
A camper van?
Yeah.
Right, so do you have a toilet on board?
Yeah.
Do you have a shower?
Yeah.
Do you have a cooker?
Yeah.
How many beds?
2.
2?
Yeah.
And it's a converted van?
Sort of, yeah.
Right,
yeah.
Right, okay. Just to get the idea of, you know, what sort of facilities you can get on board. Now mine is what they call an A-class coach-built motorhome. So it's got all of those things, but it's just a basic Fiat chassis. And then the manufacturer builds whatever it likes on the back. Whereas, you know, something that sounds a bit like what you've got is a sort of basic van that then you build into it whatever you want. So they're a lot smaller. So you might be able to sneak in under the height barriers. But in COVID, you know, there was a huge upsurge in interest because people couldn't go abroad, so they thought, I know what, you know, we'll go in this country, nice cheap holiday, but it's not really cheap. What also went up in COVID was the price of the campsites. I would be paying about £18–20, and suddenly I was looking at sites and they were £65 a night. I mean, I could go down to the nearest travel lodge and get a room for that. So they cashed in and they're still cashing in, but the interest in buying a motorhome was 56% higher in July 2020 than it was in July 2019. And this created a lot of interest and people going out and buying motorhomes. And 16,608 new motorhomes are registered with DVLA in 12 months, from the 1st July 2020 to 30th of June 2021. And any idea what sales might have been valued at?
Like 2.4 billion.
No. But you're sort of right to think high. £1.5 billion. So it is a huge, lucrative market. And the one plus side of things was that the second-hand market prices went up as well. So if anybody's got a motorhome and wants to sell it, this is the time, because people are getting more for their second-hand motorhome now, or camper van, than they pay for it. So from my rooftop thought view, I've just got a few pointers in case anybody is thinking of actually going out and purchasing one, if you can get it. I mean, we're talking about 1-2 year waiting list now. So the first thing, research, because nothing is simple, easy, cheap or quick. And make sure that you think about your budget, not just for buying one, but also for maintaining it. I think of it as an expensive hobby, something that you love and you don't really care, what it costs you, because that's, I think, how you have to look at it, because it will cost you. Parts are expensive if you can get them. You're probably better off going to a dealer, because they sort of are bound to look after you and help you repair them. If you don't go through a dealer, if you buy privately, it's very difficult to get anyone to take on any work. You can't just think, oh, yeah, I need to do that. Just go down the garage, they'll do it. An ordinary garage won't look at them. And everything takes months and months to get. So I think you have to look at your DIY skills. That's the way around it. You have to see how good they are and consider whether you're prepared to learn. I've learned quite a lot, including how to get up and down ladders 3 metres up onto the roof of your motorhome. And the other thing I think you need to consider is, could you manage it on your own if you are on your own, or if you got left on your own? I feel now that you really, to make life simpler, you need some sort of partner or co-pilot. Mainly for cost. Campsites, when you book them, the basic price is for 2 people and a dog. So I pay twice as much than a couple when I go away. You also need help, perhaps, with reversing, even if you've got sensors or reversing mirror, because you're going to hit something. Believe me, you're going to hit something. You've got blind spots, and you need somebody to blame. So I was just doing what I was told. It's your fault. That's what you're saying. And if you're going to get a partner, it's a good idea to have somebody who's tall, because they can then reach out of the window and not topple over when you're at toll booths, because they're on the other side of the road when you're in Europe, so you need somebody to reach out and get it for you. And security, there's lots of security issues around it, so you need to think about accessories like wheel clamps and steering locks and pedal locks and extra door locks, because many are stolen, and they're stolen to order quite often for spare parts. Wonder why. But having said all of this, I love mine, and I wouldn't swap it. And it's an older one, and I wouldn't get a new one. They've got problems. But every trip is an adventure, not just a journey to a holiday, but the journey is the holiday. So if you're going to get one, you need time, money, patience, a yearning to learn new skills and a new language maybe. I mean, my swearing's come on fantastic. And you need a sense of adventure. And one more thing, go to Europe. And don't wait until you're on your roof to consider whether it was a good idea or not. Oh, and get a partner and a dog. But more of that next time.